Most people are very much into their boats. There's lots out here. Not that many people live on board. In our little bay here, I think we've got 20 of us that live on board in about, I think there's about 70 boats.
We do have a house here. It's actually only about 10 minutes away, so we're close to our main home base, but we don't live there. I actually moved onto a boat when I was 12 with my parents, and then spent years on board with them, and then worked on yachts for a while where I met Janis, and now we're back at it again.
Yeah. I actually built a sailboat with my family while I was growing up. We built a 36-foot fiberglass sailboat. And my dad, once I was in university, he took that sailboat and sailed it from Thunder Bay, Ontario, down to the Bahamas, where he spent 14 winters. After 20 years of policing, I got diagnosed with PTSD. But while all that was going on, I knew that I needed back on the water. There's something about being around the water that just makes me feel safe. And being out on a mooring, because no one could come to our boat unless they come by boat. I'm just safe out here. So it's a great way to manage the PTSD.
We basically just started looking for boats in general. This specific boat builder was down in Stockton, California. It's Stevens Brothers. They've built lots of boats, right from small cabin cruisers to military ships during the war. It was a picture of the boat sitting in Wrangell, Alaska, and it looked gorgeous in the pictures.
They were like 10 years old, those pictures.
Yeah.
It was almost fraudulent.
Yeah.
She just looked so forlorn, neglected.
That was the word I was going to say.
She needed love. And she has just beautiful lines, and she had history, and she was just kind of forgotten up there in Alaska. And it kind of pulls out your heartstrings when you see a boat like this.
I would say probably 3 out of 10 would be a...
There's been some surprises. Let's say that. We thought a lot of it was surface when we looked at her. And then we started ripping apart walls and stuff when we got her back to Canada. And there's actually, you haven't even seen the video, but the termites damage and stuff, and the wings and the poop falling out, the holes underneath the deck. That was a big surprise. That video went out where we had to replace the whole deck. So we went up there on Boxing Day, so on the 26th of December. And we said, okay, we got 3 days to get this boat ready. Blaine had only operated it once for a sea trial. So it was totally unknown to us. She had no heat on board. Luckily, I went to Amazon and sent up some heaters and foul weather gear up there for us to pick up when we got there. But we did 3 days. It was like, let's get this boat ready. We are leaving in 3 days, and we started coming down. We had a couple issues, but it was probably the most beautiful trip we have ever done.
I saw on your website that you've got this big trip planned. What came first? Was it the trip or the boat, if you see what I mean?
The boat.
Yeah, it was the boat that came first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were, as Janis said, we just kind of wanted to get back on the water again. And once we were back on the water and we started thinking, we wanted to go traveling again. And that's, once you want to go traveling, your mind starts going where you want to go.
But we want to go to places we've never been.
That's right.
That's the key. And we like the northern latitudes, and we really want to see the Aleutians because we love history. And then Japan has always been on the list. So our plan is here to Alaska for a winter, and then across Aleutians, Siberia, Japan. We want to spend about 6 months in Japan circumnavigating, and then we're thinking down through some of the islands, Micronesia, down. We want to circumnavigate Australia, which I think would be fun. And then we were like, okay, well, what after Australia? Because we don't want to do the Mediterranean. So then we're going to come up, and the Northwest Passage is in our bucket list of things to do. So that's in the 10-year plan, is to go through the Northwest Passage and get over to Norway, Finland, Sweden, the UK, Scotland, all around there.
We're going to be doing this until we're so old that we can't move around on the boat anymore.
Yeah, this is our home. We're just going to keep moving. I think biggest challenge is I really miss Josh. I wish he still lived on board. We really miss our son. Even though we see him almost every day, we're thankful that we still have Izzy on board. But I think also the biggest challenge is waiting to get going.